back to another week of I Hate Fantasy Football. We are here to recap Week 11 for Crazy MFJR. I'm the captain, and we are going to take a look back at Week 11 and see what went on there. We'll talk about a couple of other things, the rankings and things. But Josh, first I need to ask you, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for my family.
Boring.
I'm thankful that I have a good job that I can get nights off to do stuff like this. I'm thankful for the Clipper. I'm thankful for Ezekiel Elliott and Melvin Gordon and Le'Veon Bell. That's what I'm thankful for. Yeah. What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for 3 wins.
Okay.
I am thankful for 4 extra picks next year.
Okay, that's good. Yep.
I am thankful that this season is almost freaking over. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Good.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look back at Week 11.
Okay.
In Week 11, we had one game come down to Sunday Night Football, Jamison Crowder. We had 4 games. All 4 of them came down to Monday Night Football. In fact, not just Monday Night Football, but the last quarter of Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting. 2 of these matches were decided by 1.5 or less.
Yeah, it was close.
It's good times. What did you see?
So I was biting my nails during the whole Raider game, watching Michael Crabtree almost catch passes and almost catch touchdowns. That kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. That was interesting. But the Raiders apparently hate Latavius Murray, and then by proxy hate Jordan because of it. You know, the only thing that saved his entire day was his one long catch and run that took him to get some decent yardage, but it didn't really help Jordy out enough.
They gave him a lot of work. They just seemed to give it the wrong time. They didn't give him any goal line carries.
They gave the touchdowns to the other guys. Yeah. The other guys got a handful of touches, but they got the touchdowns. Which was a little weird.
They hate you.
Yep. The other thing that stood out to me is that I think I could actually hear Lisa screaming for Lamar Miller from my house.
Absolutely.
And Lamar Miller wound up coming through, saving her day, gave her the win by a very small margin, but did just enough to get her there. So that's what stood out to me.
Bogus pass interference, give the ball on the 1. There you go, Lamar.
Just take it in.
I think whatever. We'll move on.
Yep.
All right. Looking at a couple of things. First off, I have to apologize to Lisa. I was making fun of her last week for who she was streaming against because she streams against Cleveland every week.
Sure.
Last week that didn't happen, so my bad.
I was wrong too.
Yeah, that's right. Moving on, looking at some rosters. So Russell Wilson starting to heat up.
Yep.
And he looks pretty good.
He's catching touchdowns.
He is catching touchdowns. He's throwing touchdowns.
Sure.
He's mobile back there without that knee brace, just like I told you he would be.
Sure.
And the problem is, though, that he is on Keidel's team.
So does Keidel even know he's playing well?
Well, Keidel still might be in it.
Maybe.
But Keidel might not know.
Is he asleep at the wheel?
Keidel, pay attention. Maybe when he power watches these in a couple of weeks, he'll be like, oh, I had a chance!
I was right there! Why didn't I log in?
All right, we'll move on to a couple other things. Another looking at rosters right now, Ryan currently has 3 quarterbacks.
He does. He likes things in 3s. He liked 3 defenses. He likes 3 quarterbacks. Maybe next year 3 tight ends, 3 kickers. I don't know what. It's going to be another set of 3s. But
he went for a couple weeks without starting certain players, like just having blank spots. Maybe if he didn't have 3 quarterbacks, he could change that
potentially.
More roster looking. Gus and Jordan both had the 2 highest scoring quarterbacks of the week. And they lost.
Both lost.
Yeah, they sure did. And then Lisa, who had one of the worst quarterbacks of the week with her Big Ben and his 8 points, she still won.
And bad Big Ben actually wound up still giving her just enough to squeak that win out.
That's weird.
Who knew?
Yeah. Crazy. Just quarterbacks don't matter. They're like kickers.
Yeah. So I'm going to start a campaign to no quarterbacks in fantasy
football
next year.
I'm telling you, all flex. Last thing I was looking at was Le'Veon Bell. Good trade for you. Man, that guy's a monster.
Yeah, he's good. But it's a little painful because, in the trades that I made, I also picked up A.J. Green and Alshon Jeffrey, costing me for those 3 players a 2nd and 4th round pick. And Green's hurt, and Alshon suspended, and he's not even on my team anymore. So I'm happy to have Lev Bell. He's doing real well, but he's just really expensive. Oh, well.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, let's look at our injuries for the week. There are 1,000 injuries.
Yeah.
Let me run through them real quick here.
Let's do it.
AJ Green, maybe out for the season with his hamstring.
Maybe not. Hopefully not.
Andrew Luck, out for at least this week with his concussion.
And on a short week.
Zach Miller, out for the season with broken foot.
Yeah, he even played well.
Gio Bernard, out for the season with the ACL.
He hadn't been playing well.
Yeah, that's right. He can help me out. LaShawn McCoy with his thumb. He might play in Week 12. He might not play in Week 12.
He had surgery on a broken thumb. How are you going to...
But Rex Ryan is confident he's going to play.
That's always something to be believed.
Absolutely. CJ Procise is the scapula. He's going to be out for a while.
That's too bad. He was looking good, too.
That also helped me out.
Yeah.
Ryan Matthews and Darren Sproles both might be out, might not be out.
Not surprised Matthews hurt.
Yeah, well, no shock there. So my question with all of these injuries, which one of them is the biggest?
It's AJ Green, and it's not close. That guy's, it would be well above any of these in a redraft league next year. He was somebody that I was counting on to help lead my team forward. I still have some depth, so I'm okay, but it really, really hurts that he's, got a strain/torn hamstring or whatever it winds up being.
Right. I kind of feel like Luck's a big deal.
It is, but I picked up Eli to fill in. Go, Eli!
I still kind of think Luck was a big deal.
Yeah, at least I don't need to win to get in the playoffs this week. He'll be back by next week.
Sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at this week's standings. Yep. What do you see?
Well, I'm at 9-2. Kevin's at 7-4. So we're up. But then we have Gus, Jordan, and Lisa all at 6-5, all right there fighting to get into the playoffs. And then Keitel is at 5-6. He's only one game out, but he has more points scored than Jordan, Lisa, and Kevin.
So if he ties two of them, in the record, he can go.
As long as he continues to put up big points, he actually still has a way to get in. And there's an interesting matchup this week because Kevin plays Gus. And, if Gus loses, he's going to be on the outside looking in. If Kevin loses, potentially in Week 12 and then also again in Week 13, he could be all the way out, after being really at the top of the heap for most of the season. So that's going to be interesting. And then Tom plays Lisa this week on a week that's really, really important for Lisa to try to make the playoffs. So I think the commish needs to make sure that Tom sets a legal lineup.
Oh, I'll be looking. And with this whole Tom versus Lisa, a couple weeks ago, Tom traded with Lisa.
Yep.
He got a couple of players and maybe some more.
By more, you mean?
I'm sticking with more. He got some more in return. I'm sure of it.
More.
And if he wins this week, dude, I hope it was worth it. Because you won't be getting that more for a while.
More's going right out the door.
I like it. All right, let's move on. Real quick, I want to talk about the consolation bracket. This is where I live, so I'm really good at this. So in the consolation bracket, we have 6 of us playing down there. The top 2 teams in the consolation bracket have no shot at playing for the toilet bowl. So if you were the top 2 teams in those of the bottom 6, if you were the top 2, you are safe. You are pretty, going for that championship. However, the bottom 2 teams in the consolation bracket, you have no chance of playing for the consolation championship. You are playing to not be in the toilet bowl. That's basically your only hope down there. So bottom 6 teams, if you are the top 2 of those, no chance at the toilet bowl. If you're the bottom 2, no chance at that IC belt. So, try to not be the bottom 2.
Well, then remember, if you win the IC belt, you actually get to pick your draft spot for next year. I won it last year. I decided to go to pick number 1 overall. That helped me land Ezekiel Elliott, which has helped really propel my team forward this whole year. So there is a lot still to play for. So pay attention.
Yeah, please. All right, so let's move on to rankings. Jordan, you got another week of rankings for us. Let's take it away.
Now, guys, I am traveling again this week. I'm in Las Vegas, but that is not going to keep me away from the Week 12 rankings, so let's get right into it. Now, I am not sure how Michael Crabtree only put up 0.5 points in Week 11, but the lack of performance from that wide receiver gifted Josh his 9th win of the season, and now pretty much locks up that number 1 seed going into the playoffs. But Josh continues to get hit by injuries. Andrew Luck is now in concussion protocol, so we'll see what happens there. Number 2, after going 5-0 to start the season, Kevin is now 2-4 in his last 6 games. Kevin lost a close matchup with Lisa this week, and he has a very tough matchup against Gus in Week 12. Now, Dodger Dogs needs a big week from DeMarco Murray, and he needs something big from T.Y. Hilton, who is without Andrew Luck this week. Now, number 3, the champ. Now, Gus thought a win over Josh was all locked up going to Monday night's game in Mexico City. But the champ is second still in points, even after losing to Josh this week. But the rest of the pack is not too far behind him. These next 2 weeks could drop any of these next few teams in or out of the playoffs. Number 4, now, I lost to Tom again. That is the second time this season. I have Ryan and Lisa in the next 2 weeks, and there's a very good chance that I lose and I miss the playoffs. Guys, I'm right there with you. I hate fantasy football. Number 5. Now, in a week of close matchups, Kaido gets the narrowest margin of victory this week. He picked up the win by 0.8 points, and it all came down to DeAndre Hopkins and Amari Cooper in Mexico City. Now, Dragon Pirates has Darren this week and Josh in week 12, and he needs to win both of them. All right, Lisa got the biggest win of her career, or of her season, this week by knocking off Kevin. Now, this week, Lisa goes against Tom again in a rematch of week 4 in the Estrada Bowl. Lisa's projected to beat Tom by over 30 points. She's going to need top performances from Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and Lamar Miller if she wants to get that done. All right, now Jeff picked the wrong week to get minus 7 points combined from one of his flex positions in defense. Darren picked up the win in Sunday night's game. But it also feels like Jeff, he definitely won that trade of Dez Bryant for Devontae Freeman. And oh yeah, I still hate fantasy football. All right, number 8, Ryan was at the game in Washington on Sunday night. And even though he lost, Ryan has looked good over the last few weeks. Dak Prescott has been a strong addition to the team. And I know I say this every week, but David Johnson is a stud. I see Ryan in the playoffs in 2017. All right, now after 11 weeks, Tom is finally averaging over 100 points for the season per week. Now, Tom is also on a 3-game win streak, which I will assume has never happened before. Now, Tom's team has now averaged 117 points over the last 3 weeks, which is great. That's the week I was going against him. Now, this week he has Lisa, and I know that Tom does not want to lose twice to his wife in the same year. Tom, you are in 9th place simply because of total points scored, but all in all, you've had some good wins over the last few weeks. Which brings us to number 10. Darren, you won. It wasn't pretty, though. You had the 3rd lowest score of the week, and your opponent, Jeff, was the lowest. Now, Thomas Rawls will be a great pickup, and he will continue to be a great pickup with the injuries over on the Seahawks. And Jamison Crowder now has 4 touchdowns and double-digit points in his last 5 games. But, Darren, you are still in last place because you're 3-8. So, guys, those are the rankings. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week.
All right, Jordan, another great week of rankings. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jordan.
I deserve number 10. I'm still fine with that. I only outscored 2 teams, so number 10 is fine. I'll make my way back up next season.
Maybe.
No, I'm going to make my way up this season. I'm not going to be 10. All right, again, great job, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
All right, so week 11 is in the books
Yep.
for Crazy AF JR. I am the captain, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.